Here we go, guys. Let's make something fun. I get a lot of requests for these feathers. I've done quite a few of them in pendants and earrings and different things. And every now and then it's nice to wear something that's just silver, something that lets your outfit do the talking, where you want to complement what you're wearing, but you don't want to stone. Simply silver, lots of bling, but without colors or much to distract. And that's why these are really cool. And these are all hand done. They're really fun to do. They take not a ton of time, but more time than you'd think. I got a pattern that I liked and drew up, and so then I fixed it a little bit more and kind of looked at this to go along with it, see if I could use it in any kind of way to add to. And this is actually part of an old lampshade, a silver lampshade. And it was really cool. I mean, the fact that this existed, and I was going to use this with another piece. And so I was kind of taking it apart to deconstruct it, to see if I could use those as little accent parts on what I was doing. I am always looking through everybody else's junk, more or less. I mean, they say one man's trash is another man's treasure. So true. I'm always at estate sales, garage sales, thrift stores, digging through the piles of stuff, trying to find something that I can use to add to the things. It's amazing to me the things that people will throw away that they think are just garbage or they'll give up or get rid of. But hey, it works for me. I'm glad to be able to do that because it makes what I do even more fun. It makes the pieces really unique and individual, which is what I strive for. I love to do all kinds of jewelry, but when I can find something where it's just a one of one, there's never going to be anything like it ever again, I love those. There is also something to be said about recreating things over and over. It makes the process quicker, for sure. But sometimes too, just having something that you have that nobody else is ever going to have is amazing. And so here the feathers are cut out, and I use pretty heavy gauge sheet to do these. Sometimes I'll fuse silver together, use scrap, roll it in my rolling mill, and flatten it out. But first I've got it all sawed out, and now I'm putting the center vein of the feather down through there with this wire, soldering the wire on. And on these were earrings, and so I made the wire long enough that I could make the ear wires from that piece of wire itself, so that it was really fluid and there wasn't separate pieces to go with it. But you have to be really careful because the back plate's going to heat up a lot slower than the wire itself. So you just got to make sure you're not going to melt through, because oftentimes that'll happen. So here I'm just soldering the wire, which is the main vein of the feather, down through. And then I come in and with a stamp, and I'm stamping in some of those marks where each of the feathers has the lines in there. And truly, this is a long process in terms of it's not just one simple thing, because I have to anneal it in between because it gets work hardened. And so I'll go in and I'll stamp all of the different things there, make it so that I have those veins. If I don't like it, I'll kind of come back in and heat up my metal again and kind of soften those marks so that I can redo them. But it's just a fun process because I try to just go with the flow and make it whatever that's going to be for that one. Each one a little bit different. No two are exactly the same ever because they're hand done. Similar, I mean, these are cut from the exact same pattern that I've photocopied, and I enlarge it or I make it smaller depending on if someone wants earrings, a pendant, or what they're looking for. Some people like a little bit more minimalistic, give me the huge everything big. I just like it that way. But not everybody does. And of course, earrings you can't do so big that they touch your shoulders. So making sure of the length based on the person who I'm doing for. So I always try to ask the questions first of, how tall are you? What is that going to look like for you, and all of that hammering, see how it kind of curves it? But I like my feathers, again, to have a little bit of curve and movement. And I've gone in with some repose tools and kind of flattened them out and moved things around. Here I'm going in with a little tiny burr bit, and I'm making more of the feathers, giving it more depth, going in and really making it pop so that when I patina it, you have all the little hair-like feathers that show up in this. And again, trial and error. Just get in and do something. You're not always going to be perfect at it, and that's okay. This is just something that I started doing one day, and it was fun. I appreciate you being here on my channel. Like my stuff, please. Don't be afraid to subscribe. I'm going to be doing a lot of fun things here. I cut all of my own rocks, and so I'm always adding different kinds of videos of all the different things that I do. So I'd love if you'd subscribe. You can find me on Instagram, Dan the Diamond Wishes Studio. But thanks for joining me on my journey. This is fun. One of these days, maybe I'll even do a subscription for classes and stuff. That's a little bit fuzzy. Sorry about the blurriness. But I'm going in with a ring shank bender that I have, these little nylon pliers. Kind of, again, I like the movement. I like the curves and the way things kind of move. Gives it a little bit more realistic. And so they kind of curve this way, curve that way, and I just kind of mess around with them until it feels right. And again, use whatever tools you have. I use a toothbrush. You can see it laying there on my little towel. I cut the end off of a toothbrush, and I use that for a lot of things. I use all different kinds of tools, but I've kind of gone in with some little round nose pliers and moved those around. You can see I've spun those up, all the things. Try to make them as close to similar as I can, and see how I've bent the ear wire around so that they just fit like that. And I'm going in with some liver of sulfur to patina this, because when I patina it, it really shows all the detail of the little hair-like parts of the feather and makes everything show up really good. And I love that. Not everybody loves a patina. I do try to ask before I'm doing some things for people if they like a heavy patina, if they like no patina, whatever that kind of finish is. That stuff stinks though. And here I'm in with my bristle discs, kind of. I've already removed as much of the patina with a little cloth as I can, but I go in and do this so that it takes more of that patina off and softens it a little bit more so that it just stays down in the grooves. This is fun. Dangerous little sucker though. And again, see, there's my box. This is you don't have to have the most expensive things to do things, and you can just make things work until you can afford to up your game along the way. Don't not do it because you can't have the best of everything. And look, there they are, hanging in nature, beautiful little feathers. The customer that got these loved them. I had a blast. Thank you.